One45 Analytics is a turnkey data warehouse and dashboarding system designed for medical education. Today, we will be looking at how you can understand component grade performance to prepare for our meeting with a learner. Click on the I work in Student Academic Affairs and select your learner to begin your preparation. Here you will be brought to the student's overall dashboard page where we can see KPIs at the top, such as Step 1 and Step 2 performance, MCAT outcomes, average final numeric score, etc. We can also see final numeric and letter grades and comments for the Dean's Letter. Along the left-hand side, you will have three options for narrowing in on component grades: the view trajectory of performance, view performance trends, and view detailed performance on activities. We'll start by diving into the trajectory on performance. This will allow us to look at the students' peaks and valleys in performance across assessment types and time. I'm going to narrow in on a particular phase to look at preclinical outcomes for this learner, and then we can narrow in on particular activity types, either by using the activity type filter along the left-hand side of the page or clicking on the activity type on the right-hand side. Once I've narrowed in on the activity type, we will see a trajectory of the student's performance across time. If you hover over one of the dots, you will see the exam name, the activity type and course name, as well as the student's percentage. To look at this performance by course or clerkship name, click on the View by Course Clerkship tab, and you will see color-coded courses. Here again, you can click on a particular course to dive into it, and then we can look at the student's performance within this course. Click Go Back to Student Overview to select a different way of viewing the data. Here I'm going to remove my filters at the top of the page and choose to look at performance trends on this individual student. Performance trends will allow us to see areas of strength and weakness of the student and where they may be trending up or downwards. When we look at this table, we can see the activity types listed, which will combine all graded scores for the student per activity type. Looking at lab, we can see the student's average percentage across time, any change within the last 6 months, the average within the last 6 months, the change within the last month, and the average for the last month. This identifies to me that the student has had a slight drop in their lab scores, and I may want to investigate that further. Clicking on the word lab will allow us to narrow in on this particular graded activity type, and then we can look at the student outcomes by course or clerkship or performance trends overall. When looking at this by course or clerkship, we can see the student's percentage in a heat map approach where we will highlight any low performance thresholds in yellow and any areas where the student was below failing in red, and any changes in last month from high to low with green and red highlighting. Click back on the Go Back to Student Overview to view the data in bar chart. Click on View Detailed Performance on Activities. And here you will be brought to a page which allows you to view the activity in a course by activity type or by activity type table. Here we will see the student's chronological performance in each course or clerkship, starting with the most recent dates. You can narrow in on particular types by clicking on a bar or an event name within the visualization, or you can also use your filters along the left-hand side. In this example, I want to understand how the student has performed on our NBME shelf exams. So I'm going to select Exam National, and we can see their performance in internal medicine, neurology, and psychiatry, as well as how they compare to other students in the cohort. To narrow in on a particular course or clerkship, highlight the course name, and we will see the updated standard deviations and means for that cohort. You can remove the filters at the top of the page to broaden your search. And if we scroll down the page, we will see a score on graded activities table for the student, where we can easily identify how far the student was from the standard deviation.